airing probably sometime next week. But the purpose of today's live stream is for me to share with you guys my 2016 year in review. So every single year, I have a ritual that I share on my YouTube channel where I do an in-depth year in review, a process that I go through just to go over the previous year. And I believe it's a very powerful ritual to have just to make sure that you celebrate and you award yourself for all the incredible things that you did for the year, all the successes, all the accomplishments, all the wins, all the little things and all the big things, and just flood yourself with that, because whenever you flood yourself with what's good and you acknowledge yourself for it, then it gives you more confidence, it gives you more certainty, and success always breeds more success. And sometimes when you look at the year, you might have thought that you had a bad year, but when you look back, you might think, wow, you know what? I actually had a pretty good year. And you can remember all the magic moments that you had. And so I like to make sure that I go back through the year and I review things and I go over all the successes, but I also go over the goals that I achieved. I go over the goals that I didn't achieve. Okay, I go over my failures, the mistakes that I might have made, the challenges that I might have had. I try to extract the lessons from that. What can I pull from that and learn so that I can bring that with me into 2017 so that I can make sure that I don't make some of the same mistakes again, and just really so that I can make every year better and better. So I'm excited to share with you guys this process. I'm coming to you guys right now in Vancouver, Canada. I'm in my office. I got my treadmill desk here. I'm going to be hitting the start button pretty soon so I can get some exercise in while I speak to you guys. But before we jump into that, I would love to hear from those on YouTube and Periscope and Facebook. I would love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear where you guys are joining in from. So make sure you guys leave a comment below. Let me know where you guys are. Like I said, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and it's actually snowing today. You probably can't see outside, but it's snowing pretty hard. So it's a snowy white New Year's Eve. So leave a comment, guys. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Love to, I appreciate all your guys' support. So hit the thumbs up button. And I look forward to jumping into today's stream. I've got a blog post that I put together at projectlifemastery.com that already kind of summarizes my year. And so I'm going to be referencing that throughout this video. But if you guys are live and you guys want to follow along with me, then just go on over to projectlifemastery.com and you'll see the list there. That's what I'm going to be going over in this video with you guys. Cool, so we got people from Puerto Rico, from Sweden, we got Australia in the house, we got Canton, Georgia in the house from Cornell, we got Belgium, we got Brooklyn, New York, we got Austin, Texas, we got Lithuania, Toronto, Canada, San Antonio, Texas. We got someone here from Abbotsford, BC. I bet you it's probably snowing quite a bit out there. We got someone here from Mexico. Awesome, we got people from all over the world. Singapore. Is it 2017 there yet in Singapore? I'm not quite sure. You guys are quite a few hours ahead of me in Vancouver, Canada. So I'd love to hear what time. Have you guys already celebrated your New Year's yet? Algeria, Massachusetts, Washington. Awesome guys from Germany, all over the world. So it's great to be able to share this New Year's Eve with you guys, connect with you guys. I've got actually a pretty busy day today. Because tonight I'm actually hosting a New Year's Eve party. So right now it's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time where I am. And I've got a bunch of people coming over in a few hours. I got to get my apartment and everything ready for a New Year's Eve party that I'm hosting tonight. I got a dinner that I got to get ready for. And so it's going to be a very busy day for me. So I'm going to try to not make this stream go on too long. I want to make sure I get to the point, but I can also really share with you guys a lot of the lessons that I learned. And by the way, I know a lot of people that are going to watch this are going to be watching the recording of this. So if you're watching the recording of this, then by that point it'll be 2017, in which case, Happy New Year. Okay, so people from all over, Australia, Algeria. Someone says about 4 hours until 2017. Awesome, guys. And by the way, I want to share something real quick too before I jump into my year in review. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas. and a great holiday time. I shared a little bit on my YouTube, and if you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, you guys saw a little bit. I was in Hawaii and everything, but I got some cool things I want to share with you guys real quick. First, this is a gift that I received. This here is an autographed Rocky from the movie Rocky, the original movie Rocky in 1976, autographed by Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers. And I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but around here outside the picture is actual film from the movie Rocky. So I'm actually a huge Rocky fan. I just love inspirational movies, and Rocky, the whole series, is very inspirational. You know, anytime I need some motivation, I can always watch Rocky, and really fires me up. But I love to collect things like this, and so this was actually a gift from my girlfriend. I'll show it to you guys here on Periscope. Very cool, hanging up in my office. And another gift that I received is this autograph. You guys know I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. This is an autographed Tony Robbins picture that I got framed here. It's from the Today Show is when he signed it. And really cool. So my girlfriend also got me this as well. Also have this hanged up in my office. But I just love collecting things like that. You know, I love... I have had a lot of different mentors and role models and influences in my life, and so I like to. It always inspires me, I find, to have them up on the wall, or maybe eventually, if I get a bigger place, I'll have a whole wall dedicated to all the mentors and the people that influenced my life. But just wanted to share that with you guys. It's a cool gift. Hopefully, you guys had a great Christmas and Santa was good to you. Okay, I'm gonna hit the start button on this treadmill desk, and we're gonna get moving. So we're gonna go at 1 mile per hour, and I can also adjust this tabletop here. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so let's jump into it. 2016. So first I'm gonna go over my successes, accomplishments, and celebrations, the different categories of my life. I'm gonna go over a lot of the different goals that I had. And I'm still working on this, to be honest. I spent quite a few hours today just kind of reflecting on the year and putting this list together, but truthfully, there's actually a lot more, and I find it's very beneficial throughout the year to keep journals. And I keep paperback journals. I also use Evernote. I plan out my day and everything, and so I find it very useful to be able to go back throughout the year and look at those old journals and things that you were doing so that you can really just remember the things that you did and all the little things, the big things. I like to take a lot of pictures too. So I go back through my Instagram, I go back through my camera roll on my phone. And so, usually this process that I go through, I'm just trying to flood myself and go back to the beginning of the year and just try to remember and relive a lot of the experiences that I had. And then I write them down and I journal them. And it's a very rewarding process to go through. So first I'm going to jump into my health and fitness, some of the successes and accomplishments that I had there. So one is I completed a 15-day juice fast, nothing but juice for 15 days. I completed Tough Mudder in Whistler, which is a great experience. I actually already signed up for it again next year, also in Whistler, because I'm going to do it again with a few friends. That will come soon for some goals that I have for 2017. I'm also going to do a juice fast again in 2017 because I really believe in the power of cleansing the body. Consistently worked out 3 to 5 times per week, was very consistent with that. I ate clean and healthy very consistently, I'd say about 5 to 6 times a week. I consumed only plant-based protein in terms of I've eliminated whey protein, casein protein, really low quality types of protein in my life. Plant-based protein has made a big difference in my life. Invested more into my health through high quality supplements. So I'm always testing different supplements and I have no problem investing that in myself because I cherish my body. My body is my temple, and I definitely upgraded and optimized my body even further, my energy and my health even further through supplementation in 2016. I had healthy meals delivered to me twice per week. So I have all my meals delivered to me by a company called Fitness Foods in Vancouver, Canada, where I live. Although there are a few other great companies like that too, but that's been a ritual that I've had, even last year. I think I started that, but frees up a lot of my time because I don't have to cook. I haven't cooked in such a long time, and I can really make sure that I'm eating clean and following certain calories and things of that nature. Juicing once to twice per day. So you guys know I've got a juicing ritual in the morning. I get my juices delivered to me as well. They're fresh, freshly juiced, every few days. So no preservatives, no chemicals. It's not the low quality type of juice. Been very consistent with that. I did a live blood analysis, something I do every year for testing, where they take your live blood and they measure it under a dark field microscope, and they take the dry blood analysis and a live blood analysis, but you can essentially see the state of your health and optimize your health even further from that. I did some chiropractic work, a few different chiropractors that I worked with just to improve my alignment, my overall structure. I did a lot of yoga classes, Muay Thai kickboxing classes with friends. I even did some physical activities of playing soccer with friends and different activities like that. Improved my stretching, my flexibility. That was something that I worked more on. More so, to be honest, at certain parts of the year. I was really like on fire with certain things, and other times a little bit less. But overall, definitely have improved a lot in these different areas. And I will mention to you, by the way, guys, when you're going through and you're reviewing your successes and your wins throughout the year, don't be hard on yourself, okay? The being hard on yourself part is more for the end of this video, okay? Or the end of this process. Really what you're trying to do is reward yourself, acknowledge yourself. Don't be so critical of yourself all the time and be like, yeah, I did this, but, because whenever you say that but, you're almost cheapening the accomplishment and the success that you have. I think that we all need to be a lot nicer to ourselves. We all need to reward ourselves more and acknowledge ourselves a lot more in our lives. And so don't be too hard on yourself. This is a time of celebration, and I'm not saying this to flaunt or brag or anything like that. I'm saying this because I'm proud of myself. This is a process I do for myself, and it's a great thing. Everybody should do that. Everybody should toot their own horn from time to time and pat themselves on the back and acknowledge themselves for the hard work and everything that they've done well, because like I said, that builds your self-esteem, your confidence. So I'm not trying to impress anybody here by sharing these things. I'm sharing this is how my year went, and I'm acknowledging myself for that. And just so happens there is a camera on me right now, and I get to share that with you guys, and hopefully I can inspire you guys in this process to do the same for yourself. And I will mention, never compare yourself either. Everyone else is at a different level in their life. They've got different goals, different focus, different vision, different circumstances. And so don't compare yourself to me. I know people that are crushing it 100 times more than I am. And I know people that are doing less than me or more than me. It's not about that, guys. It's about doing the best that you can in your life. Because when I got started too, I wasn't able to do as much as I am able to do today, but I had to go through that process of many years of self-development and improving my focus and my discipline and goal setting, and making money allows you to accelerate your growth in a lot of different ways too and optimize things. And so I want to put that out there too, because I find sometimes people compare themselves, and again, it's not a place for that. It's a place to celebrate yourself and celebrate the year that you had. Okay, so I want to put that out there. I watched a few inspirational health documentaries. That was a big win. I love watching documentaries and learning and improving my health in that way and educating myself more. I did a liver and gallbladder flush. I did several colon hydrotherapy sessions, especially during the cleanse that I did. I invested in this amazing treadmill desk that I use almost every day. It has made a big difference in my life. Rebounding daily. I've actually got 2 rebounders that I use, and using that consistently every day has made a big difference in my health, my energy, and I love it. I also invested in a PEMF mat, which is a pulsed electromagnetic field mat. I'll do a video on that at some point, but I started using it twice a day and meditating with it twice a day. And so that has been an awesome game changer for me, and just in terms of helping my energy, helping just get rid of pain in the body, inflammation, helping to sleep better. A lot of great benefits. My focus has improved from it. So I'll have to do a video on that again at some point. I did a few cryotherapy sessions. Never done cryotherapy before, and ended up doing quite a few sessions in 2016, and I loved it. I did a number of massages and body work. I invested in my body a lot more in that sense, because I find there's a lot of great benefit to clearing a lot of the stored energy that we have in our bodies. And massage and body work is just really beneficial. So there's a lot of great things I did for my health and my body in 2016. As usual, I always make that one of the highest priorities every single year, because that's what allows me to live not just a longer life, hopefully, but also a great quality of life too. Because there's nothing worse than making a lot of money or doing well in certain areas, but not having the energy, the health, and the vitality to be able to really enjoy it. So, did a lot of great things in 2016 with my health and fitness. A lot more that I want to do in 2017, and I'll get to that again in a goal-setting video that I'll do in the next week. Okay, let's move on to financial goals. Now, I did very well financially, made a lot of really good decisions, and you guys know some of the goals that I set at the beginning of the year that I've shared month after month. So the big financial goal that I had was to make $2 million in my business during 2016. And just today, I went through all the numbers and everything for the entire year, and I just came up short of this goal, $2 million. The total number that I calculated was $1,960,236. So about $40,000 short of my goal of $2 million in sales this year. Now, just to clarify, that's also Canadian dollars. I live in Canada, so if you're measuring that in US dollars or euros or whatever different currency, it's obviously going to be different or less. But my goal was to generate $2 million. I'm a Canadian corporation and everything. And to be honest with you, these numbers aren't 100% exact, because my bookkeeper and my accountant still has to do the entire year-end bookkeeping and accounting before we do the tax return and everything. So it actually might be more. I might have actually achieved this goal. I don't really know. I won't really know for probably maybe another month or two once my bookkeeper kind of goes through everything for the year, but I might have actually achieved it. So I'm not sure, but either way, I'm not upset. I definitely made more money than I did the year before. The year before, in 2015, I did 1.5 million. So definitely an increase from there, which I'm definitely happy about. And what I'm also very proud of in terms of achieving this goal is I also traveled a lot this year. So I traveled for 5 months out of the year. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. And so I've traveled more than I've ever had before. And I also made more money in the process and had more freedom. And just, that's actually what I value more than the money, is the freedom in my life. Because really, you can have a lot of money but no freedom. I know a lot of people that are like that. They have a great business and they make a ton of money, but they're always stressed. They don't have time to spend with their kids. They can't travel. They don't have time for their relationship. And sure enough, other aspects of their life suffer. So I'm very proud of the freedom that I got to enjoy this year. But also, more than that is the contribution that I made. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But this year, I was able to contribute to hundreds of thousands of more people than ever before. Thousands of new customers and people I've been able to serve in that way. I helped thousands of people be able to start their business, start making money online. Very proud of that. A lot of people that have created rituals in their lives and set goals for themselves and achieved really great things. And so I'm very proud of that. And I've often always said that the amount of money that you make is just a reflection of the value that you've provided. Because when you provide a value for other people in terms of giving them something that benefits them, or serving them, or inspiring them, or motivating them, or solving a problem, or meeting a need or a demand, and you do that consistently, then in exchange for that, people will pay you. They'll pay you for your products or services or whatever it is, and you can build a successful business and brand through doing it that way. And it's going to be long-term, and it's a very fulfilling process. And so that's what I'm most proud of in that regards, is the difference that I've been able to make in 2016. And I really scaled up in a lot of great ways, which I'm very proud of. Now, another great goal or a great accomplishment I'm very proud of, more so than the money that I made, is how much I invested. So I've been able to invest $1.2 million in 2016 in stocks, index funds, ETFs, and I grew my stock investment portfolio to over $2 million Canadian. So I'm not sure if you guys remember, but a few months ago, I think it was in May, I put together a video blog on my YouTube channel and my blog on my $1 million investment portfolio, where I shared the investments that I've made, my entire portfolio. I do a screen capture video, very transparent, showing all the numbers and things with that. I've been able to invest a lot more since then. In some cases, taking some of the cash that I had, because I don't have all my money just in investments. I got cash and different things that I've diversified in different ways, but been able to invest a lot more. Very proud of that, because I invest in stocks and index funds and ETFs that pay a dividend, so I get a consistent passive income from that too, which is another thing that I'll get into, but very proud of that. My long-term goal is to have $10 million as my nest egg, and then that money will consistently provide a passive income for me, because it's also invested in blue chip companies and stocks and banks, which is very secure here in Canada. And so it's a very consistent passive income and investments, really with the horizon of like 10, 20, 30 years and beyond. So that's my long term. And then also you got to understand too that when you have a business, just because you might make a lot of money in a month or even a year doesn't mean that you should just spend the money. Okay, that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make, is they upgrade their lifestyle too fast. I could upgrade my lifestyle and buy a Lamborghini and buy ridiculous things, but it'd honestly be silly for me to do so. So you want to be strategic and patient with that process and invest wisely the money that you're making, and think about your future more, because also, you never know. You might make a lot of money in a certain month or a certain year, but who knows? Maybe the industry might change, your business might change, something might happen to your business, maybe something might happen to you. Right? Maybe something that could happen, knock on wood, where I get into an accident and I'm disabled. And, maybe this money that I've generated, I have to live off of for the rest of my life, because I can't do, what I was doing before. Same thing with professional athletes. They might make a lot of money in a certain window, but they shouldn't just go and spend that. They're going to have to live off that money. They might get an injury that might affect their entire life. And so in many ways, you have to be smart with the money you make. I'd love to give more money and everything too, but also sometimes I have to discipline myself and be like, you know what, I got to take care of myself, my family, my kids one day and my grandkids, and change the whole outlook of my future generations and everything too. And so, just want to share that with you guys, my mentality a little bit around that, but very proud of that. Been making a lot of great investments and decisions throughout the year. Been spending a lot more time investing too. I've learned a lot about it, and it's been a lot of fun for me as well. Another success was I made my first loan and investment into a private business. And so I made an investment into a US company. It's actually a fulfillment center called Falcon Fulfillment. Made an investment in that. I've never, for the most part, I've always invested in stocks that are like public companies, but never invested in a private business before. So that was a new thing that I ventured into. Time will tell whether it's actually a good investment or not, but I also try to make, I try to risk or invest fairly conservatively for the most part, but I usually have like a 5% of my portfolio for more high risk investments. And those are ones I'm willing to experiment with a little bit more. I also made my first peer-to-peer lending investment, which was over $130,000. And so that was a loan that I made to someone, and I've never done that before either. And that loan that I made was actually with a 35% annualized return. So I've yet to get my money back with that. It's supposed to get the money back in 2017, but that was a new investment, and I worked with my lawyer a lot on that investment too, just to make sure we secure it. And I learned a lot. I've never done that before, but there's definitely a good learning opportunity, and it was definitely a little bit more high risk to do also. Okay, I set up my holding company, Life Mastery Holdings, Inc. It's a parent company. I manage all my investments through that business. I became a multi-millionaire, the label or the identity, I guess, with that in terms of the net worth of all my investments, and that's not including the worth of my businesses, because it's a little bit hard to do an appraisal and really determine the value of the business that I have. But in terms of just the investments that I have, I've been able to exceed my net worth to over $2 million. I had my highest income month of $276,000 in August. I was extremely active in trading and investing. I had an over 20% return on stock investing during 2016. I received consistent 4-figure monthly passive income investments from dividends. I benefited massively from the foreign exchange of US dollars to Canadian dollars, and I utilized that. So I do some Forex trading too and been able to benefit from that. Okay, let's move on to business. I'm going to share with you guys some of my business successes and accomplishments. So I was a content producing machine in 2016, as you guys probably know. I published 227 YouTube videos during 2016. Mind-blowing. I think my YouTube channel has 600 and something videos that I've published since 2012. And 227, and I think that's the exact number. I mean, I added up the best that I could throughout the year, but 227, around that is what I did for 2016, which is pretty amazing. So that's pretty crazy. I had certain periods where I was putting out videos every day, you know, and definitely been able to scale the amount of content that I put out, which is a lot of fun. Published over 250 blog posts. Okay, so those are also written articles that I wrote. Received over 5.3 million views on YouTube with over 37 million minutes of watch time. Those numbers are just so big that I can't even really fathom them, but pretty amazing. A lot more than, I think the year before that was around like, I think almost 2 million views, so more than double the amount of views. Okay, here's also what's crazy. Over 93,000 new subscribers on my YouTube channel. So 93,000, I think I'm at 150,000 or something like that, 154,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. 93,000 of those have been in 2016. And I started in 2012. So that means I think I had like 60,000, around 60,000 subscribers on YouTube at the start of 2016. My goal at the time was 100,000. I over exceeded that. And that, again, guys, shows the power of content, consistency, and also patience, because it's always slow at the beginning, but it gets to a point where it just explodes. And if I keep up this pace, you know, I'm going to be able to more than double what I did. So it just, there's a viral effect on YouTube, which is very powerful. Okay, moving on. Over 154 subscribers on YouTube. Over 1.4 million unique visitors to ProjectLifeMastery.com. So that's tracked with Google Analytics. My goal was 2 million, so I came up short with that. But 1.4 million is definitely an increase than the year before. Over 500,000 listens to the Project Life Mastery podcast on iTunes. And by the way, I have the blog post, again, if you're just joining in, at ProjectLifeMastery.com that I'm referring to, that has all these things summarized for you if you want to follow along with that, and also links too. So I'm referencing the iTunes podcast. I recommend everybody, if you want to listen to the podcast, go to search for Project Life Mastery on iTunes, or go to ProjectLifeMastery.com/iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast there. You can get access to my YouTube videos in an audio format over there too. I built my email list to over 110,000 subscribers, which is massive. I remember my goal for 2016 was like 50,000. And you know, sometimes you underestimate the power, the compounding effect, right? You underestimate the power of just consistency and putting out content. And I've got a good formula for this too. Like, I've really cracked the code on content marketing in my business to blow it up. A lot of these things I teach inside my Affiliate Marketing Mastery course to help people to be able to do the same. So very powerful stuff. Great thing about it, it's all free traffic, right? I'm not paying for advertising. We do a little bit of that in my business, but you know, this is all free traffic that I'm generating through creating content. I reached over 50,000 followers on the Project Life Mastery Instagram page. That was a goal that I set. I reached over 69,000 followers on the Project Life Mastery Facebook page and 116,000 followers on the Stephen James Facebook page. I started using Snapchat, Instagram stories consistently with thousands of people following daily. So I only started Snapchat and Instagram stories in 2016. I started, I think, in maybe May or April or May or something like that. That has made a big impact in my business too. And I now have thousands of people that watch my stories almost every day. I try to do it every day, but there's sometimes I like to take breaks and everything too. But Snapchat, Instagram stories has been a powerful form of social media that I just started using this year, which has been a lot of fun too. So I successfully launched a new free course on the 7 online business models that made me an internet millionaire. So I launched that, I think, in May. You guys can access that at projectlifemastery.com/free course. It goes into the 7 online business models that I utilize to make money online. I successfully launched Affiliate Marketing Mastery, helping hundreds of people build their online business. So this was the big goal that I had in 2016, was to focus on creating a new course. A lot of people wanted something new from me, a new course. I spent so much, pretty much more than half the year working on this course. And it's become the best thing that I've ever created so far by far. Put a lot into it. I'm still investing a lot of time and a lot of things to improve it and make it better and serve my members and help them build their business too. But been very happy about that. Have a couple hundred people that have joined the program and love it. Built a great community for it too. So that's been a big success of mine that I'm very proud of for 2016. I improved my K-Money Mastery 2.0 program, added new training, new philosophies to it, the publishing Parthenon, a few really powerful strategies to make it even better than ever. It's helped thousands of people have joined that program. So many, I don't even know how many have made money online with it, but we got people joining that course every single day and great success stories that people send me, and very happy and proud of the success of that program in terms of what it's had in 2016. I improved my full disclosure membership, consistently adding several new videos throughout the year for that too, doing a lot of live streams for that also. I didn't even mention that, I got into live streaming this year. I don't even know how many live streams that I've done, but that's been a new part of my business, to be able to interact with you guys in this way and share with you and engage with you. And so I don't even know how many I've done this year, but I did quite a few on Periscope and Facebook and YouTube. And that's another thing to acknowledge myself for. It's been a lot of fun. I consistently hosted a monthly Student of the Month contest for full disclosure and Affiliate Marketing Mastery members, giving away hundreds of dollars in prizes. And I didn't even write down here the different giveaways that I've done. Right now we've got the giveaway on my YouTube channel. So I'm giving away some Amazon gift cards, but also I did some giveaways throughout the year in 2016 through Gleam, and gave away a GoPro and an iPhone, a new iPhone, and I gave away Kindle and a lot of cool things I gave away in 2016, which was also a lot of fun. I hosted 2 online mastermind events in Vancouver, which were a big success. I improved and relaunched K-Optimizer 2.0 for Kindle publishers. I coached dozens of clients one-on-one through my mastermind group, my private coaching, helped a lot of people have breakthroughs, and some clients that I worked with for several months or the entire year or just did one-off sessions with. Did a lot of great coaching, which was a lot of fun. I had hundreds of people sign up for my Morning Ritual Mastery course. Helped a lot of people create morning rituals in their lives and commit to the 30-day morning ritual challenge. I launched 3 new Amazon products through Life Mastery Nutrition, reached over $10,000 a month in sales. I launched the BCAA product. I launched the Iron Force Testosterone Booster. I launched the Mastery wristbands, and we got a lot more things we're doing in that area too. I relaunched the Life Mastery Nutrition website, consistently publishing new content and articles and growing that business. Consistently made a 6-figure passive income just from online publishing, affiliate marketing, Amazon FBA, advertisements, etc. Expanded my team, made some key hires in my business, including an operations and project manager, a blog manager, a new video editor, an event coordinator, a physical products manager that manages my Amazon business. I hired someone to do an SEO audit, search engine optimization audit on projectlifemaster.com, work to improve the SEO. created more systems in my business, outsourcing more and leveraging my team more. I read a lot of awesome business books, learned a lot, expanded my knowledge a lot there. I attended Tony Robbins' Business Mastery Seminar in Las Vegas. I attended the World's Greatest Speaker Training event in San Jose. I hired 2 different business coaches and mentors in 2016, one of which I'm still working with into 2017, but they've been very, very powerful in helping me grow my business and provide some mentoring for me throughout the year. Did dozens of affiliate promotions, invested in a lot of different courses and trainings and products and learned a lot of new skills. Let's see what else. Simplified a lot of business activities, enjoyed myself a lot more. I went to the Grand Canyon for a mastermind event, networked with a lot of people, met a lot of amazing people. I interviewed a lot of people on my YouTube channel and podcasts, a lot of amazing entrepreneurs. I was interviewed a lot for a lot of podcasts and different shows of that nature, and I just improved a lot of aspects of my business, and everything has improved. So in terms of business, for 2016, had a lot of big accomplishments and wins, and a lot of things I'm definitely proud of. Okay, let's move on to lifestyle, relationship, personal development. So some of the biggest successes and wins for 2016 in this area were, 1, I traveled for over 5 months, which is more than what I've traveled before in a year. Definitely traveled a lot. Like it's actually sometimes exhausting. Traveling because you have to put certain areas of your life on hold, right? So it's hard to really immerse yourself in certain projects. And some of the trips that I had were during launches and big things that I had going on too, and things coming up. But overall, I love traveling. So very happy. That's one of the benefits of having a lifestyle business, a laptop business. You just got your laptop. You can be anywhere in the world and do it. So many of you guys know at the start of the year, I traveled to Japan and Thailand, and I was in Bali, I was in Dominican Republic, I was in Puerto Rico, I went to Nicaragua where I volunteered to build 2 houses. I was in Hawaii recently, I spent time in Miami, in Orlando, and San Jose. I went to Las Vegas, I think 2 or 3 times. I was there for Halloween, I was there for different events. Sedona, Arizona, one of my favorite places. I was there. The Grand Canyon, I did a trip there. Whistler. So a lot of fun traveling, a lot of seeing and exploring the world. I got a lot more coming in 2017 too, but definitely a great win and accomplishment for the year. I moved into a new, bigger and better penthouse in downtown Vancouver, so that's where I'm coming to you guys from right now. Moved in here, I think it was in August. I've hosted a few amazing fun parties here. I got a party tonight, so I gotta get ready for that in a little bit, a New Year's Eve party. I attended the Tony Robbins Business Mastery, the World's Greatest Speaker. I did the 100-Day Challenge program. I read over 23 books, and I'm not gonna go through all the books that I read, but again, if you go to projectlifemastery.com, the blog post, you'll see the list of all the books that I've read throughout the year, and you guys can check some of those out, but just a few of them that I enjoyed. The Untethered Soul, The Purpose-Driven Life was great. Abundance was a great book. Grit was a great book. Get Up, Why Your Chair is Killing You, What You Can Do About It. That is a book that inspired me to get this treadmill desk. Ooh, that Nikola Tesla book, that was a great book too. That was a very inspirational one. Rocket Fuel, that was a great book that helped me understand the integrator and the visionary. Hug Your Haters, The One Thing by Gary Keller. The Compound Effect, Relentless by Tim Grover. That was a great book. The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. So a lot of great books that I read. I listened to and watched literally hundreds of videos, audios, and podcasts. I can't even tell you how many, but a lot of podcasts that I listen to or videos that I watch, TED Talks, things of that nature. I went through dozens of online training programs and the courses to improve my knowledge and skills. I invested in some new camera equipment, such as the Sony Z150 that I'm recording this on right now on YouTube and Facebook. I also invested in 2 new iPhones, the new MacBook Pro. So a lot of investments in terms of the technology in my business. In terms of my relationship's the best it's ever been with Tatiana. We've create more love and passion and more magic moments together, more memories, become closer together. It's just more aligned. We've grown so much together in terms of like traveling together, and we never have any fights. We never have any arguments or anything like that. It's actually a really amazing thing. We're just so aligned in terms of we're both so passionate about life and health and fitness and travel and self-development and learning and spirituality. We're on the same page, and business, and she's got her YouTube channel, and she's got her Amazon business and affiliate marketing business. And it's really amazing just being with someone that is so similar to you, because it's so effortless as opposed to effortful. I can remember relationships before where I'm super passionate about life or learning or health, and the other person's not as much into that. And so sometimes it creates a little bit of tension, and you resent the other person for certain things. And so it's been really great because we've been able to grow together, and she's helped impact my life, been able to contribute together, give to each other in so many different ways. And so very happy about the progress that we've made in 2016. Consistently updated our relationship journal. We did a fun photo shoot with Jeff Chan Photography. Started learning and practicing Tantra. We went out a lot, had a lot of fun. Created a lot of amazing magic moments with friends and family too. There's so many that I could list, but I organized a lot of activities and things that I cherish throughout the years, such as parties that I hosted and bringing people together, and poker nights and golf with friends and the UFC nights. I'm playing even video games with my friends. We did the virtual reality lounge and playing soccer games and barbecues. So a lot of really amazing moments with friends and family that I'll cherish. Did my morning ritual consistently throughout 2016. Went to a lot of fun concerts and shows in Las Vegas. I mean, there's just so many great things that I did. And if you guys want to check out some of the pictures throughout the year, then make sure you follow me on Instagram, because on my Instagram, you guys can go back and see some of the moments. I try to capture them as much as I can, but you can see a lot of the things that I did in that way too. So I'm going to get now to my contribution, some contributions that I made that I'm proud of throughout the year. One is I raised and contributed over $20,000 to build a school in Ethiopia. Very happy about that. I'm actually going to be planning to go to Ethiopia in 2017 to volunteer and build the school. That might be in October of 2017. I'm still organizing that. Donated $10,000 and supported this organization called Operation Underground Railroad, which they put on sting operations to help catch people that are doing human trafficking. And they've got a great documentary, by the way, too. I think it's just called Operation Underground Railroad, or if you go to the website, I have a link. But very powerful, guys. There's a lot of problems out there with human trafficking, and definitely a big fan of that organization. So I want to support them a lot more. I funded and volunteered to build 2 houses in Nicaragua. So I funded the houses, went and volunteered. And also, I will mention that, even though I did a lot for this, but also a lot of people contributed to this as well. So I want to acknowledge those that did contribute, because I had a few campaigns that I made public, and I'm just so proud of you guys and those that have contributed in that way to help support in making a difference, because I try to use the influence that I have here to hopefully inspire you guys to make a difference in other people's lives too, because I think it's really important. There's a lot of people out there in the world that are much worse off than all of us in terms of, they don't have the opportunities that we have. They don't have a phone or a computer or an internet connection like we have to be able to benefit from the internet. So really proud of some differences that I made there. I sponsor children through World Vision, very proud of that. And I also use Kiva and Loan Money. I think that's a great organization too. And really there's a lot of other things that I've contributed throughout the year. I try to do more every single year, especially as I grow, and try to be more in a state of abundance in that regards. But, there's a lot of different things that I do. Some of them I keep private. I'm not doing it for brownie points or anything like that. I like to share certain ones to make public to hopefully use my influence, but a lot of things I like to do, just little charities or things like that I like just to keep to myself. I started the Project Life Mastery Teen Mentoring Program, so mentoring teens, and that's been a great group, connecting with people. I'd like to do more with that, but That was a great accomplishment. I reached and impacted, I don't even know how many, but hundreds of thousands of people online, and just in terms of my videos and articles and podcasts and products and services and coaching. So made a big contribution there. Gave gifts to my family, took good care of my family, my friends, bonuses to my team. I've got the people that work with me and supporting them and providing a job for them. That's been great too, and contributed a lot of my time just to helping people and answering questions and giving feedback and coaching and a lot of things that I do just to donate my time to help people. Cool. So that's essentially a list of my successes, my wins, my accomplishments for 2016. So it's a great year overall. And again, hopefully I can inspire you guys to do the same for yourself, to acknowledge yourself and write down and journal and go back through those pictures and the goals and your to-dos and all that sort of stuff for the year, and acknowledge yourself, reward yourself. Because when I do this and I focus on it, I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. And it grows your confidence. And I'm like, oh my God, I did so much. What more can I do in 2017? My confidence, my self-esteem is high. And it gives me more confidence to achieve more and to achieve bigger things in my life. And so make sure that you guys acknowledge yourself for these things. So I'm going to go into challenges, struggles, and failures, and then some lessons learned. But before I do, let me just kind of reference the live chat here on YouTube, because I've been neglecting you guys a little bit, just going through some of my things. But let's see here what people are saying. So someone asked if I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to take a few questions at the end. So stick around, guys, to the end. Although my time, like I said, guys, is a little bit limited today just because I've got a dinner to get ready for. I've got to prepare my apartment. I've got a house party tonight too. So it's going to be a little bit more rushed today, but don't worry, we're going to do a lot more together in 2017. Also, we got people from all over. Also, we got a few people that are already into 2017. So Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, wherever you are in the world right now. Okay, so let's get back to things. Someone asked, are you on a treadmill? I'm on my treadmill desk, yes. All right, guys, so let me go back into challenges, struggles, and failures. So here's some things that, when you do this, you got to look at yourself in a critical way, right? There's always things you can improve. Nobody's perfect. There's always things that I can do better, that you can do better. You got to look at yourself in that way. There's things that I came up short. I'm proud to say I achieved maybe 90% of my goals year after year, but there's still 10% that under certain circumstances or whatever, I'm not achieving them for. And so there's definitely a lot of things that I can improve for 2017. One thing that I found for myself is that for the first half of the year, I had my fitness goal of doing Tough Mudder. And in previous years, I've done fitness competitions and things like that. And I find when I have an event like that, I'm really motivated, like it really pumps me up, and I work and I train and I get in great shape for it. But what I've found is that once I achieved that goal, my motivation, and I didn't set a new goal after that. It's not true. I did set a goal, but it didn't really inspire me. It wasn't really something that I really wanted and was motivated for. And so what I found was that the first half of the year, I was like really strong in my fitness and cardio and all these different things that I was doing. But then the second half, I was still working out and I still train and stuff, but it's not the same level, the same standard that I had before. So my intensity has diminished, and I'm not really moving towards something. And there's sometimes I was doing some different training programs and things like that. But I think one thing I learned is that I really got to make sure that I have a personal trainer. I had a personal trainer the year before, but I traveled a lot. And for whatever reason, I didn't go back to that personal trainer. But I think I'm going to hire a new one in 2017 because I'm a big fan of coaches. And sometimes we all have shortcomings, but when you have a coach, there's someone that can keep you on track because they can call you out on things. They can help you be focused. They can help make sure that you measure yourself and you're consistent with certain things. And so having a great coach, a personal trainer, I think is something that will help me a lot moving forward. I had a few too many cheat meals at certain points throughout the year. Not always, but a few too many, more than I'd like, to be honest. Although I don't beat myself up as much as I used to before in that regard. I used to have a binge eating problem, as many of you guys know from that YouTube video that I did. But I also think that's part of just not having a strong enough fitness goal too, right? Like when you have a strong goal, something you're working towards, you're gonna be more on top of your eating a lot more too. But not that my eating is bad. Like my considered bad eating is still like amazing to a lot of people, I find. So I just have to happen to have a very high standard of health in my life. But I still want to maintain that standard that I have. I wasn't as consistent as I like with some hobbies, like yoga, Muay Thai kickboxing, my relationship journal, my girlfriend. These are things that I wanted to do and stick with every week. And there's phases that I had where I was doing it every week, and then sometimes I find I'd go away for a trip or travel or work on a certain project, and sometimes when you lose that routine, that flow, it's a little bit harder to get back into it. And so because my lifestyle consists of a lot of traveling now, I really have to make sure that I'm good at getting back on track with things, because I find that I get into a certain routine and then I travel, I go away for like 2 weeks, and then it's getting back into it, and sometimes when I travel and I come back, then things are a little bit hectic and chaotic anyways, because it's getting caught up on certain things too. And so that's the challenge that I think I face sometimes with travel and going away a lot, that I need to improve for 2017. I also had to reschedule some goals. So for example, a goal that I had was to do Date with Destiny, but it actually got sold out by the time that I was interested in signing up for it. So I had to schedule that for 2017 in May in Australia. So, I had to reschedule that goal. My Vipassana meditation retreat I had to reschedule because my girlfriend injured her tailbone. She wasn't able to meditate. The Tantra workshop I had to schedule now for February in 2017. So I think it's just kind of, some things happen, right? But also, I always look at what I can do better, and I need to plan more in advance. And so I need to schedule these things and sign up for them and have them scheduled. And when you schedule it, you can't back out. When you made the deposit, when you paid for it, you're going to be more likely to show up for it than not signing up for it or scheduling it in the calendar. So there's a few things I need to do there better, and just in terms of the organization. I didn't complete my new self-development course. So this is something that I could have achieved, but I decided not to because I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to burn myself and overwhelm myself. There were some moments throughout the year where I was like, man, like why am I going so crazy? Like I sometimes I work harder than I did when I was desperate and broke and struggling. And I'm like, why am I working as hard as I am? And part of it's because I love it and it's my makeup and I enjoy it, to be honest with you. But sometimes I'm like, I don't need to kill myself over this. I've made it. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. And if I do this next year, it's not going to be the end of the world, right? So sometimes I try to remind myself of that. And I'm like, Stefan, why are you killing yourself over this? It's not worth stressing over. And I'm at a point in my life now where my stress, in terms of like just my happiness and well-being, is much more important and valuable to me than money or success. I'd much rather be happy than have a lot of money. I'd much rather be happy than getting all these things done, So sometimes we stress over things unnecessarily, and I found myself trying to do too much at times, and I had to say to myself, listen, it's okay if you don't do this. People will understand, and we'll just move it on for next year and be fine with that. So I decided to do that so that I can take some more time off, to be honest, relax a little bit more and not go as crazy with things at times. I only completed half of my PADI scuba diving training in Thailand. Some of you guys know that story, so didn't complete that goal because I got seasick, threw up in the water, and halfway through it, and my girlfriend too, and decided after that, scuba diving is not something I really want to pursue, although I'd still like to pursue it in the future, but I think I just have a bit of a negative association after that experience. So I'm taking a break from that goal. Some goals, another challenge is some goals I found that, I set them at the beginning of the year and I achieve a lot, and then other goals I'm like, I just maybe not as motivated for, and I have to reprioritize things or maybe change goals. So I need to be more flexible in that regard, and there's just some goals I wasn't as motivated by or weren't as relevant to me at the certain stage that I had throughout the year, so I can improve that. Planning ahead, I mentioned that, just making sure that certain goals don't conflict with one another. Another challenge, just being overwhelmed at certain times, making sure I take more breaks, relax more. I made some hires, like I hired an operations manager that I worked with and trained for 2 months. Didn't work out with that person. I had to fire them. I had to replace them with someone else. And I find that really takes up a lot of time, training someone, because you're investing a lot in them. And especially when you're doing that too, you have to make sure it's the right person and train them. And you even just kind of going through the process of hiring someone, I went through like hundreds of applications and interviews, and a lot of things have to go on hold while I focus on that. So a lot of other projects that I had planned, I had to put on hold because this was a little bit more high priority that I had to focus on. So certain things like that came up throughout the year that it's a little bit hard to prepare for and plan for, because you don't always necessarily plan for someone you have to fire or new things like that. But sometimes it can put things on hold for you. And regardless, it is still something you have to plan and prepare for. So another issue, I had a challenge with a bookkeeper and accountant that was not, I don't want to go into the story with it, but it was a bookkeeper that I had to fire and replace because they were billing me for things that I didn't ask for and they didn't have any permission for. And so sometimes you run into things like that with certain people in business, unfortunately, that I'm still in the middle of right now. I was a bit disorganized at times in 2017 with my calendar. Just too much going on at once in some cases. And also a lot of things happening last minute. Like even this live stream, it was like a last minute thing. Like I just planned this like an hour before this. I was like, I'm gonna go live. So I need to make sure I plan these things more. A lot of the live streams that I do, I'm just like, I just decide I'm gonna do it that day, and just get my team and myself scrambling to prepare for the live stream. And so I like to make sure that I plan these things more, a little bit more organization, calendar, using the calendar a lot more. Not that I don't already, I do a lot of that, and not that, spontaneity is good too. I think flexibility is good. That's one of my strengths, is I'm very spontaneous, and I've got these ideas, I implement it right away. I don't wait to do things. I've got an idea, I'm gonna do it right then and there. And but sometimes being more strategic is something that I could work on. And by the way, right now on YouTube and Facebook, it's getting a little bit dark here. It's actually been snowing all day today, and it tends to get dark and cloudy here in Vancouver a little bit early. So apologize for the lighting. The lighting might be a little bit darker, but I'm just gonna go on a few more things, guys, before we wrap up. So I started my Project Life Mastery Teen Mentoring Group, which I'm very proud of. I did a few live streams with that, but I haven't been able to be as active with that as I'd like to be. And so that was a bit of a challenge. And again, I think it was a little bit too much for me at times. And so that is something that I want to set as more of a goal in 2017, to mentor people online. And we got a couple hundred teens that have been a part of that group, and a great community, by the way, too. So if you're under 18 years old and younger, you can comment us or leave a comment, and we can get you added inside that group. But I want to spend more time mentoring teens in 2017. Wasn't as consistent as I'd like to be with measuring. I find measuring is really important, especially for fitness and health. So that was a challenge. A few deadlines and things like that I didn't meet and didn't properly plan for. Again, taking on too much at times, and sometimes less is more, right? Sometimes I'm learning that more too, is, less is more in some cases. It's not about doing so much, but it may be doing certain things a better job of and a much higher quality of too, can make more of a difference. And also another challenge and really lesson is to use my team more, to delegate more, to leverage other people. There's still way too many things that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing. I should be hiring other people and having them do it, and sometimes I do it myself when I shouldn't be. So that is something that is really relinquishing control and trusting other people and even allowing them to make mistakes, because that's sometimes how they learn. Sometimes they got to make mistakes and they learn from that. You let them learn. It's almost like if you had a kid, you want them to go through adversity, mistakes, so that they can solve them and you can kind of guide them through that. You don't want to try to shelter them and protect them all the time from making mistakes. And some of the top lessons and breakthroughs that I had is some things I've already mentioned, but being more strategic throughout the years in terms of planning and organizing. Don't take on too much. Sometimes less is more. Build a team. That was a big lesson that I had. Invest more in my team also. So I'm investing more in my team and their training and developing them. That's what's going to allow me to scale up and grow more. So my team is critical. You can't just do everything by yourself. You can't just be a lone wolf. That's how I was for many years of my business. Just get out of my way. I'm going to do it all. And it's almost like a professional athlete that is playing hero ball, right? Or they just want to get all the points and everything and be the center of attention. The athletes that really win are the ones that come to the realization that they need to use their team, right? It's like LeBron James, the greatest basketball player. He realized that he needed to have the team and he had to be a leader. Kobe Bryant, same thing. Michael Jordan, same thing. He didn't start winning until he learned that he needed to be more of a team player and get other people involved and build them up and everything too. And so, that's another big realization that I've been having, is not to try to do everything by myself, to build the team and allow them to help me get to where I want to go. I also learned, I'm the artist, the skilled producer in my business. I need to utilize strong managers and leaders to help me integrate my vision, invest more into myself. I already invest a lot, but even more. Coaching, mentoring, events, training, etc. Can accelerate my growth even faster. Spend more time in abundance in terms of like giving more, focusing more on sharing with other people, helping other people more. Less time focused on myself, more time focused on serving others. Another great lesson is that you'll never be great in life just by focusing on yourself. The only way you become great is by focusing on serving something bigger than yourself. So that's something that I often remind myself of, is you'll never become great just by focusing on yourself. You got to focus on serving something greater than yourself, and that you'll never also become wise from knowledge. Knowledge is great, but you'll never become wise. The only way you become wise is through your own experiences. Okay, experience is the greatest teacher. So having more experiences like that, because it's very important. Make sure I set new goals throughout the year for fitness, for health. Utilize coaches more in my life to keep me on track and focus and help identify blind spots. Stay consistent with testing, measuring in all aspects of my life. Leverage other people. Making sure that I don't invest in things that I don't fully understand. Another lesson, really a realization is just how much weather affects me. And I love to travel, and I love Vancouver, but wintertime, it's dark. And, I like to be in the sun. So I want to spend more time traveling and also escaping the winters and migrate down to California and spend more time there, maybe eventually get a place there too. And so that's something that I think about a lot also. Okay, guys, that's my year. That's it. There's more that I could add. There's more I could go on, but I don't want to bore you guys too much with that. If you guys are still here, I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. If you guys are here and have any questions, I can spend a little bit of time to answer those for you guys. I got a bit more time. Surprisingly, we've only been going for about an hour, so I actually thought it would have taken me longer to go through all that stuff. But again, guys, if you go to projectlifemastery.com, there's the blog post there that has everything that I just said written out for you, so you guys can watch that. The recording of this should be live on YouTube within a few hours also. Grab some water here. And let me just do a quick check here on Facebook too. All right, all right, all right. So let's see what questions that you guys have. So we got Pippo here from Melbourne, Australia. Happy New Year. We got someone from Czech Republic, Andre. It's 1 hour after, so Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to my European friends, my Australian friends, my Asian friends right now that are joining in. Okay, question. Omega says, can you escape the 9-to-5 and achieve financial freedom through Kindle publishing in 2017 starting from scratch? The answer is yes. You know, Kindle publishing is essentially just a book that is something you publish on Amazon to make money from. And there's a lot of people making a lot of passive income from Kindle. I make a lot of passive income from Kindle, but it's too hard just to focus on Kindle. Why would you just focus on Kindle? You'd want to start with Kindle, make money from that, but of course you also want to turn your book into a paperback book, publish it on CreateSpace. You want to turn that into an audio book and publish that on ACX. So now you have your book, your content on Kindle on Amazon, on CreateSpace on Amazon as a paperback, and an audio book and Audible and iTunes. So now you've diversified your income. It's a lot easier to make more money that way because that you're repurposing content you already have. Right? And one book can make you a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a month just by doing that. But then of course you still have to market it. You still have to promote it. And with any passive income stream or anything it is, you can't just set it and forget it. If you set it and forget it, it can make you passive income, but anything in business or in life is either growing or dying. So you can set it and forget it. It can make you maybe consistently a couple $100s a month, but slowly over time it will slowly diminish because there's still some maintenance involved, okay? Some maintenance in terms of promoting and marketing, and maybe throughout time, technologies change, Amazon changed, the market changes, competition changes. So I don't believe in just setting it and forgetting it, okay? That's not what I teach. I teach to set it and maintain it, okay? Set it and maintain it. Either you maintain a few hours a week, or you hire someone to maintain it for you, like a manager, virtual assistant, let's say. Or I believe in set it and grow it. Set it and grow it. So either you can actively grow it or you can hire someone, a manager or someone like that to help you grow it. That's what I've done with my Amazon FBA business. That's what I've done with my publishing business. I'm not working in my businesses anymore. I work on my business at a higher level. I'm not in the trenches as much as I used to be, right, when I first got started. So I'm more strategic now and I leverage other people a lot more. So if you're just trying to maintain or set it and forget it, you can make passive income for a period of time, but eventually it will diminish and it'll just kind of gradually go down. And so I've learned throughout my years, over 7 years now of doing online marketing, that to build a sustainable business long term, there are certain principles that you have to make sure that you implement consistently to ensure that you're always growing, because the internet's always changing. The internet is changing at a very fast pace. That's why a lot of the money that I make, I invest it outside of the internet. I think the internet's great to make a ton of money from, but who knows where the internet's going to be in 10 years, right? 10 years is like 100 years in real life on the internet. So, I think the internet's an amazing vehicle to make a lot of money from, make passive income from for a period of time. But I like to invest in like real estate or stocks, blue chip companies or banks that are in strong sectors and markets and industries that are longer term investments that are like 10, 20, 30, 40 years that I depend on for consistent passive income from in terms of dividends. So that's been my philosophy with it online. I don't know many people that consistently make passive income online for like over 10 years from the same thing, because the internet's changed a lot in the last 10 years. Like SEO has changed, PPC has changed, social media is new. There's just so many things that have changed. Amazon, Kindle, all that sort of stuff. So don't just be like, even the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, right? Tim Ferriss doesn't work 4 hours a week. He maybe did for a certain segment of his life. And at the time he was making passive income from a supplement company he had, but where's that supplement company today, right? So, 4-Hour Work Week it's not sustainable. It's not like you just do some work and you publish some books on Amazon and then you make passive income for the rest of your life. You can't be that naive. You can't be that ignorant. You got to understand business. You got to understand. You got to adapt. All right, Yossi says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Yossi. Good to see you here, my friend. We got Julia from Russia. Yossi from Israel. We got someone here from Turkey. What are you planning to do tomorrow to follow through on your goals? Well, tonight I'm having a party. Tomorrow I'm recovering from that party and relaxing. And I'm going to set my goals next week. Sunday I'm going to relax. I might go to church. I might spend some time with my girlfriend. I might, go to the gym, and maybe I might do a yoga class, for example. But I'm not going to start hitting the gas more so till next week. Is there a good opportunity to make passive income from YouTube? Yes, but not really from YouTube ads. YouTube ads, I make like $3,000 a month from the advertisements on my video, but that's very small to what I make from funneling funneling people, the viewers and everything, to an email list and monetizing through other income streams online, whether that's through publishing or physical products or information products or affiliate marketing. So YouTube is just a traffic stream similar to Google is, similar to Facebook is, to Instagram is, to Twitter is. That's really primarily what it is. It's just a stream to attract people and market yourself online. Dark Mysteries says, thank you for all the value you provide. What's the book that completely changed your life and why? Well, to be honest, books have impacted my life. I don't know as much as really changed my life, because what's changed my life more so is not from books. Books are great. I've read hundreds, maybe thousands of books. Seminars and events are more transformational because you're immersing yourself in experience in an event, as well as face-to-face with a coach or a mentor, or over Skype or something like that, or online training programs that are immersive, step-by-step, that guide you. My life has changed a lot more from those than books. Books are great for your mindset and changing your perception of things and things like that. But books that have helped me a lot have been Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Greatest Man in Babylon, and The Greatest Salesman in the World, and Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These are books that have changed my life without a doubt. And by the way, I do have a video blog and a blog post on projectlifemastery.com called 25 Books That Have Changed My Life. So if you want to know my top 25 books, I link them there. But I like to read books, but I don't go for those for the life-changing experiences. The life-changing experiences where I go to a 5-day seminar, a 2-day seminar, I'm going to a 10-day silent meditation retreat, I'm working with a coach over the course of 6 months. Those are the more life-changing things that I have in my life that have impacted me the most, I'd say. It's getting dark here, guys. It's getting dark, so we're going to wrap it up soon. Advice for building an audience on Instagram: publish content every 3 hours. Every 3 hours. There are softwares like apps and stuff that can help you with that. Schedulegram, I think, is what we use. Schedulegram, it's spelled weird, but it can allow you to schedule things. Consistently do that. Pay, if you want to fast track it, pay for promotion. So you can pay other people that have like 100,000 or 1 million followers $10 to $100, and they'll do a shout out for you, and you'll get a lot of followers from that. And then once you build it up, then you can do share for shares. So you can approach other people that have a similar number of Instagram followers than you, and you do a share for share. So you either reach out to them on Kik, or they'll have an email or a direct message, and then you do a share for share. So you're gonna share something of theirs and tag them in it, and they're gonna share something of yours and tag it, and that's a great way to accelerate things on your Instagram too. Are you gonna make your self-development course in January? January, I've got a busy month because I'm doing an event. I'm hosting a 2-day Life Mastery Transformation event at my place here that I only made available to some of my customers and people on a small list. So that's already sold out. So I'm doing that in January 14th to 15th. I'm also traveling in January to Jackson Hole for a mastermind trip more at the end of the month. So a lot of my time is going to be spent, I think, preparing for this seminar. I might do something. We'll see. I don't want to. My goals are going to come probably next week for you guys. So I'll publicly declare some things then. What does the sentence above your door mean? It says, "What you do in the dash." It's what you do in the dash of life. Meaning, if you go to if you go to a graveyard, right? There's tombstones there, right? On a tombstone, what does it have? It has the date the person was born, the birth date, dash the date that they died, okay? It's what you do in that dash that matters, okay? Between when you're born and when you die, the dash of life. It's what you do in the dash that's going to determine whether or not you're forgotten or you're remembered, of what other people say about you. So that's a reminder for me about it's what you do in the dash of life that really makes a difference. How can you help overcome stress as a teenager? One is just focus on less. Don't overwhelm yourself. You should have some stress. Some stress is good because it challenges you and you grow from that, but not to the point where it's totally debilitating you, right? Have a bit of stress to challenge you, to push yourself a little bit, but try to simplify things more and try to live a more minimalistic lifestyle. What's the most important thing I learned in 2016? Well, I just shared a lot of the most important things, but leverage is always one of the most important ones because leverage is what allows you to do more. It allows you to scale and do more things with less effort. So that's what I'm a big fan of. Is leverage is one of my favorite concepts. Leveraging other people, other people's time, other people's money as much as I can, working smarter, not necessarily harder. What is something big that is coming in 2017 that you're excited for? Well, seminars that I'm going to be hosting and some events that I'm doing, my self-development program. I'm excited for some fitness challenges that I have in 2017. I'm excited for a lot of traveling and events and seminars that I'm attending that I already signed up for. I'm going to Australia in 2017. I'm likely going to go to Ethiopia in 2017 to build a school and more contribution and things like that get me excited. Okay, we'll take another question or two. Let me see how people are doing here on Facebook. Awesome. Happy New Year, everyone. Khalid says, Happy New Year. What are your thoughts on marketing? Lots of entrepreneurs talk about Instagram marketing and other similar platforms. Well, my thoughts of marketing is one of the most important skills you can have in your life to be able to make money online marketing. I built a whole business and career around it. Online marketing is powerful. Learn it. Use the internet. We've been given this great gift. You're crazy to not pursue something online because really right now we're in a day and age where there's just so much opportunity online. So whether that's Instagram marketing or Facebook or SEO or PPC or affiliate marketing or creating products or advertising or YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it is, these are all powerful platforms. Use them and learn them. I try to learn them as much as I can and use them in my business. And they can make you a lot of money. They can help you reach a lot of people and provide a great lifestyle for yourself. I'm going vegetarian in 2017. Are you vegetarian and what are your thoughts? I'm not vegetarian in terms of like the label of it, but I have been like very strict with that at other times in my life, but I still eat fish occasionally. I eat mostly vegetarian. I eat a lot of raw food and everything, but there are still occasions where I'll have some fish or I might have, I rarely eat meat, but I do once in a while. But for me, it's not more so being perfect with things. I got a principle of 70-30, so I try to make sure 70% of the time, I'm eating a lot of raw food and vegetables and everything, and then 30%, 20%, sometimes 10%, I'll have a little bit of meat or fish or something like that. And so I'm not into like the whole label of it. I'm into more optimal health and well-being, and for the most part, I've got pretty high standards when it comes to that, my health and things. But I think, you want to minimize that for sure, minimize meat and things of that nature, because too much of it can be really bad, and it's also bad for the environment and the planet too. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to end things here. I've got a lot to do this evening to prepare for my dinner and my New Year's party. But Happy New Year, everyone. Always a pleasure to connect with you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. The recording of this will be available on YouTube afterwards, or also on the Facebook page. Check out the blog post at projectlifemastery.com for the details, the summary that I have here of my year in review. But Happy New Year, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great New Year's, and I'm looking forward to 2017, and I'm wishing you guys the best of luck in 2017. And set your goals, reflect on the previous year. Don't forget to do that, but set your goals, work hard, and hopefully I can serve you guys in helping you achieve a lot of those in 2017 and beyond. All right, everyone, take care. Love you guys very much.